What's up, everybody? We'll get started here at maybe like 7:02. We'll give some people a little bit of time. This should last like I'm planning for less than 40 minutes. We're going to start with a little bit of USA tape and then watch some tape of one of our players with NVLA second team. And we'll break down different moments of the game. For the US game, we'll talk more about general ideas as far as like different positions go. And then for the youth player, the NVLA game, we'll be breaking down center back specific for the film. So again, first we'll start with the US Morocco game. We'll go through some of the film of that game, break down different positions, different thought process, and then we will go into a youth player NVLA's game. So that's what the plan is. The NVLA player is 2010, so 11, 12-year-old. It's a good level team, good player. I think it can relate to all the way up to, honestly, like 05s. The stuff we're going to break down. Okay, let's get started. It seems like everyone is here, and I'll try to add people as they come. All right, so first, I just want to kind of talk. This is a good time to get a notepad out. If you have a notepad and you want to take notes, I would recommend it. I think you'll be able to learn. Again, the goal for me for this is for you guys to learn how to analyze game footage, whether that means you're watching pro or you're watching your team, being able to use the footage to help you become a better player, ultimately. So without further ado, I will bring up the first game, and then we will talk through kind of some of the things that you should think about. All right, let me share my screen. Excellent. All right, cool. You guys can see this, I hope. Everyone can see my screen. Someone write in chat, yes, or thumbs up or something. Perfect. Okay, cool. So this is the first thing for me sorry, there's still some more people joining, so I'm still trying to sort all that out. Okay, all right, let's get going. Okay, so the first thing, I didn't mean to do that. I'm still trying to get people in. There's still people joining, sorry. We'll give it another minute. Okay, again, for those that are just joining, we'll start with US men's national team, and then we'll go into some youth soccer, women's NVLA player 2010. And then, yeah, we will talk through position-specific work, details that you guys can look and apply to your game. Okay, I think hopefully the waiting room is settled down, so I think we should be good, so now I can actually focus. All right, so first things, when you guys thinking about film, it's the same for me if you guys are doing, like, when you guys come out to our private trainings, right? We're not just randomly doing exercises. Everything we do is with purpose. So like we have a goal in mind. Our goal is to, increase your technical ability, increase your crossing ability, increase your 1v1, whatever it is, we have those goals. And then we put it together in a session based on what we want to improve. And then we work on those areas and we typically build up. So same exact concept applies when you're watching game film. You're not just watching games film, just think about what happens. You should break it down. Okay, the different moments of the game offensively. So offensively, obviously, it depends on your position, but it's some different areas of offensive attacking with the ball that maybe, I don't know if you guys have broken down based on your age. So building, what's building? Building's in your own half. Building's in your own half, trying to get the ball to the attacking half. So the actions you're going to do in building are going to be very different than the actions you're going to do in the attacking third. So which is creating and scoring. Okay. And then you have the other piece, really, there's three main pieces of having the ball offense in soccer. You're building, so you're trying to get the ball out of your half. You're moving the ball in possession with purpose to try to unlock the other team. And then now once you've unlocked the other team in the attacking third, now you're trying to create and score goals. So I'll break it down for me as like a back. If I'm a center back, I'm thinking, okay, like higher level stuff would be looking to break lines. What does break lines mean? It means trying to play past defenders. It's always looking forward. So first look should always look forward. As a center back, you don't want to have your head down looking at the first option. You want to keep your head up. You're always looking further up the field. Okay. And then based on what your coach is teaching you to, right, there's going to be other more specific tactics. But general thought process as a center back in building is, keeping your head up, trying to always look forward, trying to play past defenders, not playing in the tight spaces, playing with the spaces, trying to move the ball quickly, trying to make good passes. What's a good pass? A firm pass to the proper foot with the proper weight, right? Not playing soft passes just randomly, but playing balls with purpose. So that would be building. What would be the possession piece for a center back? It would be moving the ball fast, trying to find one of those midfielders or attackers in a space where now they can be dangerous. Yes, normally attackers not creating the goal, but they start the action that can create the goal. Okay, and then what's the attacking third for backs? Maybe as if you're playing center back, maybe it's again rotating play. It's looking to move the ball quickly to unbalance the attacking team, trying to find lines, maybe even looking for balls in behind based on how much space on the field. So again, for attack, you got building, you got the possession piece where you're trying to lock the team. And then once you lock the team, now it's trying to go forward and trying to score goals. For the defensive piece, you have pressing. So pressing would be other team keeper has the ball, they roll it out. How do we press? Based on what your position is, based on what your team tactics are. Okay, the next piece, if you're not pressing defensively, then you're normally going to be staying compact. Okay, trying to have, just keep your defense really, really tight so that if the attack doesn't have much space to work with, basically. And if they do try to play within your group, you can go and win the ball because you have a lot of players and a little bit of space. All right, and then the other big piece for defending obviously is around goal. So how you defend around goal. And so those are the way you can break down attack. Those are the way you can break down defense. Couple other things to think about: transition moments. What's transition? Going from offense to defense, going from defense to offense. And then set pieces. So that could be throw-ins, that could be goal kicks. So when you're breaking down game footage, don't just be like, like how do I do it? It's like, no, try to think offensively. When you go into games, you should have a couple goals. As a center back, okay, I'm going to try to, I'm trying to find the attacking minute a couple times when we're building. I'm not just going to play the center back next to me every time. Or defensively, on set piece, I'm going to stay really organized and make sure my player doesn't get the ball and stay switched on, which we'll talk about what that means later. Okay. As a midfielder, maybe it's keeping possession and in our own half, and then the attacking half, when I find it between lines, can I be aggressive? Can I go forward and can I create and score? As a forward, it's similar concept. It's keeping possession in your own half and attacking half. Can I be aggressive? Can I get forward? Wide players, thinking about serving crosses, thinking about maybe overlaps. Defensively, thinking about killing counters, thinking about staying compact. So first and foremost, you need to have a plan when you step on the field. You're not just randomly stepping on the field. What are your kind of 1 or 2 goals offensively for the game? What are your 1 or 2 goals defensively? 1 or 2 goals defensively? What are your 1 or 2 transition goals? Same with set pieces. So you have a couple of ideas in mind, and now when you're watching the game, you are judging yourself based on the kind of those goals. Okay. And then just general soccer concepts. I think I might have kind of blown through these. Defensively, in general, this is, anywhere in the world, same general concept. Defensively, you want to make the field small. You want to make the field compact. Okay. Because the field's compact, then it's hard to play through you. All right. Offensively, you want to make the field big. You want to make the field big. We want to move the ball fast so the defense isn't organized. If the defense is organized, meaning it has a nice shape and everyone has good equidistance, it's going to be very hard to play through. But if you can move the ball fast and have attacking movements to open up spaces, to pull players out of space, that's when you can be successful. Okay. Good. Last thing before we get into the highlights. This is, I think, the most important thing for watching film is there's not necessarily a right and a wrong all the time. It's not like, oh, this is like, it's not necessarily always black and white. And there's a lot of plays where maybe maybe one player was the play that made the play happen, but there's other players that allowed that player to make the play happen. That's one thing I really like about soccer, is that it's not like, it's not just one player. It's not like baseball where it's just guy go hits a home run. It's like, no, it's a team game. So every small action impacts what happens next, what happens in the future. So trying to evaluate the situation and trying to take stuff away from it constantly. And the biggest thing is if you can explain why you did what you did, that's huge. That's awesome. Because then you'll continue to learn and get better and have better reasoning as you get older. But it's like, hey, why do you do this in this moment? If you can explain why you did it in that moment and it makes sense, then that's awesome. And if you explain it doesn't make sense, and then someone can talk you through it, and then you can watch pro and you can watch higher level and talk to your coach, and you'll learn maybe how to make adjustments in the future. So again, as long as you have a reason for what you're doing and there's reason and it makes sense, then that's a good thing. All right, let's start it. So this is the U.S. versus Morocco game. U.S. just 1 possession back, and now they're countering. Let's watch it first. We'll watch it a couple times. First, just watch it straight, and then we'll watch it thinking about U.S., then thinking about Morocco.
It's Pulisic, and it's still Pulisic.
end up with a decent scoring chance. Let's go back now and let's watch. Think about, I'm going to talk through now specifically the US. And I'm going to go specifically through what maybe they're thinking and what they do differently. So first off, this is a great early ball forward. Anytime, this is what I'm talking about, like breaking lines. So this pass, look how many players this pass goes past. So if you're a midfielder, you're looking for these passes all day. That's a great pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players he played past with that one pass. I guess only 5 because these guys aren't behind the ball. So that's awesome. This is exactly what one midfielder should be looking for. Okay. This is a winger, Musa. Anytime attackers, you find yourself, your attacker, you're attacking mid, and you're in between lines. This is what I mean by between lines. The defending line's over here. This is a midfield line and forward line. Midfield line and forward line just got played past. That's a great cue now. We've got to go fast because this numbers up advantage is not going to last long because all these Moroccan defenders are going to be working hard to get behind the ball now. Behind the ball meaning get back to goal. So anytime you find yourself in these moments, go fast. So I think personally, I think Musa goes a little too slow here. I think this is national team. So difference with the national team, these guys all play on different club teams. These guys have only been playing together for like a week, like versus been playing their club team together for the last, year or so. So these guys look like they're a little bit on a different page. You'll see Ferreira wants the ball in the space, and it looks like Musa is looking for some other action. I'm not really sure what, honestly. And because it's kind of awkward there, it just kind of blocks up the space. And then so now it's just kind of tight here. And then Morocco, look, this guy's working hard to get back, as well as Anderson Pulisic getting forward. But now, what was a great moment now is not a super great moment. Pulisic, maybe here, if he has a little more composure, that's great, but maybe he can slip Musa right here, right? Again, hindsight's 2020. I'm never going to fault attacker for taking a shot, but it's something maybe you look at and you're like, hey, maybe next time I put that pass. Okay, now this is what I would, if I was the coach, this is probably what I'd be looking to talk about the future. So once we bisect this line, and I'm Musa, and I take this first touch, I'm coming inside. Look how much space there is inside, and your numbers on the far side. So all these guys are on the right side of the ball. We need somebody to get on the left side of the ball. So Ferreira can make a flat run there. So now Musa can come inside, and he has an option to the left and then to the right, and then it's going to be just more dangerous. Versus right now, there's only the option to the right. So Ferreira makes that hard run there. This defender has to be honest with him and run with him. If not, he can just slip him. And then if he doesn't like that pass, he can just come inside here now. This defender's going to be cleared out, and then now these guys can be working through. But with that being said, maybe Ferreira thinks this guy's just Musa's just gonna push and get across. So again, if Musa's like, hey, you know what? I didn't like that ball. I was trying to find whatever. As long as he had a reason for saying it, I'm fine with that. But I think US should have got a better chance out of that ball. Now let's walk through it from the Moroccan point of view. So for Morocco, right here. So Morocco, they have to have more urgency to get behind the ball. This is the only guy we're really working hard to get behind the ball. All these guys should be sprinting to get back. They do a great job. This guy does a great job. This is something youth soccer players a lot of time make a mistake. Goals happen in front of goal. So a lot of times youth defenders, they run over here to try to defend this guy. There's no reason to run over there. All you're doing is now opening up more space and around goal. So see how he just drops and delays, contains, and then now he's trying to get these guys back in path. So it's a very good job of this defender to delay, not overstep. Very good job of the center back to get back in line. What I mean by in line is this, where he's not like way over here holding that guy on side. And then that left back working back too. And then look how close Morocco gets close to goal. This is another thing that you saw like players often maybe don't realize. The closer you are to goal in central, look how tight they are. Because this is where goals happen. So you need to protect central. Force US to make passes there or there. Don't let them make passes through these gaps here. Okay, but at the same time, I said it earlier, this Moroccan midfield is not working back hard enough. These guys are still jogging back, and the ball's the top of your box. Okay, so very good job of delaying by Morocco. Very good job of staying compact. I think US could have been a little more dangerous if Ferreira makes that run into the channel, because then now you have as an attacker, you have the option on the left and the right. So that's something you'll see in a couple plays throughout the film session. Okay, next one is US building. We'll just watch it and I'll talk through it.
Releasing through the middle. Beautifully. Then the chance.
Obviously a phenomenal touch and phenomenal ball, but this starts by having possession. So when I say that purposeful progression, the US has the ball here. They have the ball, so Morocco starts stepping up. They start stepping up. They start stepping their lines. This is US's center forward. So anyone that plays as a center forward role, he's looking like he's playing as like a false nine. He's trying to play between lines. And so his movement here, actually, you'll see in a second, the center back from Morocco has to be honest with him. So he starts stepping. And so that allows a space now and behind. Pulisic, midfielder, great recognition of the center back being high. Zimmerman, center back, great recognition, center back high and Pulisic making the run and puts some ball in space. I know Pulisic made a great touch, but there's tons of space to play into because he is between lines as false nine. The center back came out, and then now Pulisic recognized the center back's coming out, and now he can run it behind, and Zimmerman recognized and played the ball. Look at Pulisic. Look at the center back. There's anybody over here. He's checking over his shoulder. Center back. That's the center back right there. He's in behind. Look how much space there is. I know it's a great touching ball, but I mean, the center back had 30 yards of space to play that ball into. Great touch. This is the next thing to notice in this game in general. I just said it in the last sequence is Morocco's backs and midfield not working hard enough to get back, getting back. This is who scores a goal. Aronson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 center back, 6 another center back, and then 7 right back are all goal side of him currently. Look how hard he works once he recognizes the team has a chance to score. He just runs past everybody. He literally just runs past everybody. And that's what good. So this is another thing that I think you soccer players need to recognize. When you have a dangerous moment attacking, a moment to get forward, you have to get forward as fast as you can. So the urgency to get forward, right? I mean, that's just nothing more than just working hard on guys on the team. He's not, I mean, he's fast, but that wasn't because he was faster. It's just because he 6 was gone and recognized that's a dangerous ball. You know what? If Pulisic gets it, he needs support. So awesome follow-up by Aronson. Oh yeah, takeaway, Morocco. Again, got to get work to get behind the ball. And the center back, I think they're too flat-footed personally. So as a center back here, when he puts his foot on the ball like here, you see Pulisic running, not allow the ball behind. He should have his hips turned and he should be dropping. This is too slow, way too slow. See that movement right there? He should have done that like 2 seconds ago. So then now he's already dropping, conceding the space, because as a center back, you never want to get hit behind. It's the easiest way to get up goals. So yeah, you want to be aggressive here, but don't be over aggressive where you're not dropping. So I would say probably on the left center back. I probably wouldn't have slid there. Pulisic's going wide, in and around goal. Like the threat is in front of goal. Let Pulisic go wide. Let him shoot. Let him try to cross the ball to somebody. Because that slide by the center back just like opened everything up. Right? Just let him shoot from there. You have a keeper. He's pretty wide. I would just let him shoot. Don't overcommit. And that was really dumb. Around goal, you're always thinking, what is like the least likely way for them to score? And I'm trying to do that. So for me, I let them shoot wide. Let my keeper make a save. I don't want to be so aggressive, try to block a shot from not a great angle. But now they cut inside and they score. And then also what could happen, which would be even worse, PK. I mean, well, I guess not. The goal's worse. The goal's bad, but yeah. So anyway, next piece. Okay, this is, I believe, yeah, this is the one. If you guys saw the Instagram clip, this is the goal. This is the highlight from it. So things to note before we get going and talk about this. I just want to look at the minute. It's the 45th, it's 46th minute. It's almost halftime's almost over. These guys are pros. What does that mean when it's late in the half? You just need to manage the game. What is managing the game? Don't give away anything dumb. Don't give away anything dumb. So with that being said, I think this is pretty dumb on Morocco's part.
Time. I think it's one thing to be down 2 goals. It's another to be down in the manner that they are. The United States have dominated this game.
Great save by the keeper. He read his body and shut it down. Now, why do I think this is stupid? I think there's a couple people. I think so. If I watched the first half, Morocco tried to build a lot. What's building? They get the ball to their center backs and they try to play out. So I get the center backs opening, but with this little time left, I don't know. If I'm a center back, I probably am not opening up that deep. I just allow the keeper to go long and I'm stepping up. Why do we want to not be opening up so much if we know we're going to go long? What's the number one thing on defense? Keep it compact. The more space, easier for attack. So if we're opening up by going back here, it just makes it so much more space for the US. So I think this is a little bit questionable. I wouldn't like, I think it's just a little bit questionable. And if I'm the keeper, I mean, I get playing long, but if you play long, you've got to make sure you win the ball goes out of bounds. You're playing like diagonals. If you play straight ahead to a center back who's really good in the air, right? This is what can happen. So this is questionable, but again, these guys only playing together for a week, so I don't really fault them. I'll show you what I fault in a sec. For me, the midfield of Morocco, this is way too lackadaisical again. So yes, attacking mid should be pinching right now when the ball's in the air. In these moments, you should be thinking about what's going to happen next. Okay, so you want to get close to guys around you or think about where the ball's going to pop out. This guy's barely moving. This guy's hardly like he's moving even less. So think about what's going to happen here. Like ball's either going to probably get flicked on most of the time, or it's going to get knocked down here. And this guy's way too far away from this defender, and this guy's debatably too far away from the defender. So one, again, there's just way too much space. Center wide backs as well. He should be more inside. Once that ball goes up the field central, he should be pitched inside. Same with the right side. You start gaining your defensive shape, which is getting compact. But those guys, yeah, they could have worked a little harder and made it more difficult. But the real person that made this play possible for the US was Morocco 6. The 6 from Morocco. You cannot step here as a 6. You just knew your keeper had the ball and both center backs were opening up. This ball just went 70 yards. Your center backs are nowhere near you. So if you step out and don't win this ball, they're going to be running right at your center backs. So you need to either do one of two things. You need to win the ball or you need to foul. That's it. Those are your only two options. You can't step and lose the ball. It can't happen. So it can't happen. That's a great flick by Musa for sure, no question. But as a 6, you need to foul him or you need to just drop, win it or just drop to keep playing in front of you. Because now this is a problem. This is excellent by Pulisic. A lot of youth players would maybe turn here, but he sees Eriksen working forward, so he just knocks it off to him facing forward. And now this is what I was talking about in the first clip. Remember the first clip when Musa had the ball over here and Ferreira was central? And I said, hey, you know what? I would have probably made a flat run there, so there's an option on the left and right. This is exactly the movement Ferreira makes in this action. And why do you want to do that? Because now you have an option on the left, you have an option on the right, and then obviously this guy can dribble. And also, anytime you're moving his attack, the defenders have to always adjust their angle of what they're taking away. Otherwise, passes are going to be on. So this movement is excellent. Look at his footwork too. This is another thing that I think youth players need to work on. Where is he facing? He's not facing the ball. He's facing forward. Okay. If he was doing it, maybe he should have. Ideally, he would have kept his head facing at Aronson. But I mean, in moments of the game, sometimes you can't face the ball. But he's now turning and facing forward. So now, when he receives this pass, he's past this defender. And as attacking mid, you're not thinking in these moments. You're not just thinking connect the pass. That's not what you're trying to do. You're not trying to connect the pass. You're trying to create the goal scoring chance. So you're trying to pass it past the defender so that your attacker can get on the end of it past the defender. So Aronson here is trying to pass the ball past the defender, which does a great job up here. And now he's past the defender. It's such a small difference, but it's a massive difference. This is the stuff that we work on in agility all the time that I think just people don't work on enough. Is the hip movement, and then now you're receiving past the defender. Because if he is facing the wrong way, he's no way he's going to get a shot here. But because he has facing the right direction is a good way to pass, he should have had a goal. So it went from youth players probably wouldn't even get a shot off to this guy should have scored a goal just because of his movement, his hip position, and his first touch as well. Back foot, taking a touch past that line. So very good from Aronson and Ferrer. Cool, let's pop next. Oh, yeah, Morocco again, 6. Needs to break that play up. Honestly, the backs did as well as it could. That was a tough situation. Okay. This is another thing I think that more youth players could learn from. Is in and around goal, often in club soccer, the game gets very static. So right when the ball comes here, this movement here is awesome. I'm not sure who this is, but he makes this great run in behind the center back. So now the center back has to keep him honest and drop a little bit. And that gives a space for Aronson to get the shot off. See, you can see him checking his shoulder because he's worried that he might try like a 1-2 or whatnot. And then Aronson, great job this is critical as goal scorers. You need to be able to get the ball off your foot quickly and around goal. So look how fast you can shoot here. Look how fast that was. It was trap shot. And it wasn't even like the ball was a little bouncing or whatever. Boom, excellent. And then this last piece, let's watch this.
Was he fouled? Yes.
This right here, once Pulisic's great recognition, he knows the guy's coming behind him. But this outside the foot touch, we work on it all the time. Agility. If you're an attacking player, you have to do. This is the easiest way to get separation because he can just go out to the right shot, and it's just you can't keep up with the guy because he can push off his left foot. You can do the same thing the opposite way, obviously. But having that quick little outside the foot touch, Messi does it all day, every day. It's huge. So it's spot, and then now you're reacting and stuff. For Morocco here, again for me a little bit lazy defensively. I feel like they just. I mean, they've had long seasons. I'm not honestly super surprised. They just finished their club season. I just feel like they're a little disjointed, and their transition moment, like to step to players and react, is a little slow. The biggest one here for me is obviously this guy could not be so aggressive defensively. There's no reason to be that defensive, that aggressive defensively. And also, I wouldn't even be going right to him. I would be dropping more inside to try to take away the goal. You're going to him, you're just trying to ask for contact. That's just lazy and not a great moment there.
Like Pulisic maybe was a little too slow, but he had a good understanding that Akimi was coming in from behind.
Couple more for the U.S. game.
I'm not sure where they are. Now they touches his head out pretty fast because they've never seen anything from Sammy. I'd say an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. Which is pretty positive against an opponent like this. Sneak at the ball, and Tillman goes nearly all the way.
Okay, again, what we look at is how the aggressiveness the U.S. has to get forward.
Like this.
Look at these guys are all working hard to get forward. Sneak at the ball,
and Tillman goes.
Now, next thing I want to look at is the 9.
Like
look at the 9's movement. So the 9, look at he makes multiple runs. So he's trying to pull away, but then look, just watch. Trying to pull away, and then he tries to attack space, and he pulls away again. So he's always just trying to unbalance the center back, and now the center back has to be aware of him and look at him, right? You can see his head turn. Now this guy's completely isolated, okay? And then as the center forward, this is, I think, knowing your teammates too and knowing their strengths. So I'm assuming this guy knows this guy relatively well, and he's probably thinking, hey, you know what? If he's isolated 1v1, he's going to push to try to get in line, trying to get in front of goal. Versus the other option would be, so one option is to get in front of goal like he is now, in case he shoots and it deflects off the keeper, or if he tries to cut it far post, so he gets here and passes it down. Versus just keep attacking that space like that first one. And also another reason maybe he can attack that space, it is later in the game, and he started a little bit further. If he started higher up, then maybe he'd make that movement because he's in a better, closer spot to it. But I think because the distance is so far, and this guy's probably pretty good 1v1, so he's just allowing him to do that on 1v1. But again, as long as he has a reason for what he did, like, hey, you know what, I pulled away because I wanted him to go 1v1. Hey, I didn't make that run behind because I thought I was too far away as a starting position. By the time I got to the spot where I can make the run behind, there's not much space behind. Right? As long as you can have that reasoning, then that's great. All right, last one in the U.S. game. I want some youth soccer.
Oh, penalty. And the U.S. are aghast at that.
Let's go over people. Right here.
Same consistent message is there that this may be a bigger gift for the United States men's national team than Julian Green. Rahimi. Oh, penalty.
So it gets called kind of questionable. I'm not a fan of it. This is a new player. This is like 19-year-old, to be fair. But look at the numbers for US. We have great numbers at the ball. There's great numbers. There's no reason here to try to win the ball. He sticks his leg out, tries to win the ball. There's no reason to try to win the ball. Okay, so just understand the situation, and also from Morocco, great little ability to get separation. Boom. And then other things for me to note, I do not like the defending at all, really, of the center back. The center back is kind of killing his back line right now. He's in no man's land. He's not marking, which he should be like right here. And he's not really covering because he doesn't need to, because this guy's here to cover. So I'm not sure what he's thinking here. I'm thinking, my bet is he's thinking he's the cover guy, but I don't know if he needs to be the cover guy. Maybe because the guy on the ball, the defender, is younger, he's the guy to cover him. But the problem is when one player is out of position like this, guess what? Now this guy's in between. He's like, I can't step to this guy because this guy's open now. And so one player being in not a great spot makes it challenging for everybody. But good job of drawing the PK. No reason to. Okay, cool. So that goes for the like does it for the national team. Now we're going to be watching some youth, and we're going to be specifically watching center backs. I want you to watch the center backs for this first one. Okay. Again, even if you're older, I think you can gain a lot out of this. There's some things that are just that run true based regardless of your age. So anytime, this is just like a general youth thing. Anytime there's a long ball, who should be challenging? Center mids, D mid, or center backs. Why do you want to have center backs or center mids challenging? Because then you have proper support. So if center backs, center mids challenging, you have all these guys supporting in case the ball's missed. If the center back's challenging, then you can have one person challenging, the other player's covering. If a wide back's challenging, then the cover is awkward because you have 4 here. Wide back challenges, nobody's in the space out to one of their sides. So it's just less likely for them to win the ball. And it's less likely for you to come out with the second ball because you don't have anyone in that space. So first off, balls central, center back should be challenging. So here it's kind of awkward, wide back challenges. That should definitely be center back all day, I would say. And then now once this moment happens, right away, right, as we win the possession now, we need to look to get our shape. This center back is way too far back based on the fact we just won possession and won the ball forward. So now we need to be stepping out as a unit. This wide back needs to start releasing to provide support, and that far wide back can look to pinch and tuck. Right now, it should look a little more like this versus that. So you'll see. So the issue with that now is if this player, this is not a great pass, but this player plays a little bit better pass into here. Now this player is going to have space to maybe turn and run center back. When if the center back's in the correct spot, which would be up here, that ball goes in the center back. That center back can challenge, force negative. That center back can pinch. This wide back could pinch as well. All right, let's jump forward. These are just gonna be a couple highlights, and we're gonna watch like a segment of the game in the next game. So this is a little bit more based on your team and what your coach wants. But here as a center back, right? You want to generally, obviously, if you can, keep possession of the ball. But this is why you really need to be confident in the ball as far as like, look here, go there. Take a touch inside to get past this defender or open up and play the keeper. But this is balls that I see youth players make that should not really be played very frequently. This is a long square pass center back to wide back. It's just, there's so many things that can go wrong. So this is a ball that we don't really want to play. And so instead, if I was here, I would ideally turn out and maybe play keeper. I could play back to this center back or have a little bit more composure on the ball where I trap, wait for this player to come to the ball, and then I could push past him inside, or I could play the wide back and then open again. But then now once this happens, right away, let's see what happens. So this is still in kind of no man's land. I think these center back to be a little tighter. And why are you a little tighter? Think about the next play. This ball pops to the center forward. We don't want that to allow them to turn. I think this distance is too far where if the ball pops them, they can turn. We end up coming out with it, so it ends up being okay. One more thing I want to watch through here. So a little more composure from the center back. And then also, right, as a 6, we got to look to be an option maybe as well. So like this 6, this is the space. It could be either center back, maybe trapping and pushing in the space, but I'd love to see the 6 maybe a little more balanced. Another thing with youth soccer too is the shape gets a little bit more crazy. Like it looks like this is a wide back. There's no interior on the far side. Like ideally there would be an interior on the far side here to be an outlet, but this 6 needs to be an outlet as well. So recognize, and this is just a general thing, if you recognize your teammate is under pressure and you can provide support, provide support. So I would like to see the 6 come back to the ball, find it here, and then now this player can open, that player can open, and now we can get out of that situation. So again, in general, when you have a teammate that's under pressure and you're a close option to support, help them. Don't just run away from them and hide from them, because now you're forced them to make tough passes. Let's pop ahead. Okay, so this is a free kick. Their keeper actually comes up for it. But this is, I think, really, really good clip, because this for me is why when you guys play, like a lot of players play youth soccer, there'll be one team that dominates versus another team. Even if the level isn't maybe that big a difference, it's because the understanding of space and defending shape is, it's not there for some of these lower level teams. So first, we'll talk about that. So that ball goes forward. As center backs now, they should be organized. The white center back should be organized. This ball pops out to anyone higher up the field. White needs to be all over them. One person needs to be stepping on their back. Ideally, maybe even have one in front, one behind based on your numbers. So if you have like 2 center backs and there's one forward, one should be in front, ball side. The other one should be covering, goal side. But what you can't happen, which happens all the time in youth soccer, especially at younger ages. They don't understand this concept. So these balls get kicked forward and this player finds so much space and there's 3 defenders that nobody's like, there's no one even close to him. So this ball should never have got out of their half, never should have got out of their half, but this white team doesn't understand that concept. And so now white works so hard to get the ball in their attacking half, and now the ball's not gonna be in the attacking half for long because they didn't defend together. So this is what I was talking about when I said, breaking down the different parts of the game. This would be defending in the attacking half, right? Not defending around goal, but defending the attacking half. And so because of this now, NVLA gets good job of the forward to slow down and let your team support. Maybe a whip ball on the ground here, but again, they get a kind of a quarter chance out of something that never should happen. Now, this is the next biggest, this is massive, 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 massive. I cannot overstate how important this is because I see college players mess this up. I played with Santa Clara 2 weeks ago, and there was a player on Santa Clara who did this exact same thing. On set pieces, very, very rarely is the ball served in and then somebody heads or volleys it in. What happens? The ball's served, it bounces around for a bit, and then it ends up to someone's feet who's wide open, they score. On set pieces, you need to be, if you're man marking, which it looks like NVLA is, you need to always be aware of where your man is and be aware of the ball is, always. So as the play's happening, you need to be aware where your man is and where the ball is until you get back to your team shape. So like meaning 4 back, 3 midfield, 3 up top. But what happens is players end up watching the ball and then their defender goes, or the attacker goes, runs away from them. And then now they lost the attacker and the attackers by themselves to score. So watch here, right here, left center back. This is the attacker that they're marking. Ball goes to the right side. I see all the time. Player's wide open, wide open. This player goes and passes the ball in there. They're gonna have a tap in. So it happens all the time, even in college, any level of youth. If you just can get that concept down, watch ball, watch player, stay with the player. So I'll walk you through right now what I would be doing if I was totally switched on in a perfect world. So I am shifting with this player and they're offside, then just keep coming inside to pinch and let them be offside, but I'm aware of them. I'm checking my shoulder, seeing where they are. Okay, so always aware of those players around you. Because ultimately on set pieces, the ball doesn't just end up in the goal. Somebody ends up with the ball at their feet because nobody was defending for a while. Cool. Next up, let's go to, one sec. Perfect. Next up, we're going to next game. Last little bit. And then if you guys have any questions, obviously welcome to ask them at the end. Where is that last game? Perfect. Okay. Last one. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. So here we're going to watch just a couple minutes and I'll be talking through again as a center back's perspectives. So as center backs, right, we were looking to build. When we're building, the ball goes out one way and the higher it goes up that way. So like, right, as this ball is going up more this way, these players need to be compact. So this right center back needs to start coming up. This right back needs to be coming up because again, we're thinking if we lose the ball, where it needs to go next. Okay, now here when we're building too as a center back, everything with purpose, right? So we don't just pass this pass, try to pass it firm to their left foot. And then I don't really understand the point of this path personally. Because if I'm building, I'm always trying to break lines, right? That's one of the things we were trying to do. So again, this is a little bit more based on your team, but I would love to see the center back maybe take some space. And then now this player can push higher. And then this center back keeps coming, this player comes, well, then now that player is wide open. Center back keeps pushing, this person comes, well, now I can spin out and go there, or I can play through the 6. Because now that pass is kind of pointless. We haven't played past anybody, and now she has a tough place, a pass, because she's on the line and she can't go anywhere. But again, look where the right side of our field. These girls need to be inside and more connected to the game. Okay, good little bit of skill to get there. Now, again, this is like a more general soccer principle. This ball's been on this side of the field for about 7 seconds left. This player took a couple touches, played there. This player took a couple touches, played here. Everyone on blue is thinking the ball is going to be over here. This is going to be very tight over here, so we got to think to get out the ball at the other side. Or rotate through the center back who could be a little bit higher here. Got fortunate, came out with it. A little too slow a pass. See, now this whole sequence happened. Look how deep our center backs are. Our backs are too far away. This is very similar to that, the first, the highlight of Morocco that I showed where the 6 stepped out of position. The backs are too deep. Very, very similar, right? So it's the backs weren't stepping high enough. Oh, sorry, this is too far ahead. So the backs weren't stepping high enough and the midfield ran out of shape. And then now this is a problem. Now the reason why they didn't get a goal scoring chance here is because just a little bit lack of awareness and then also understanding for blue. So blue, right? Think about what happened when US got the ball here. What happens? Here, gotta get forward, gotta get forward. This is actually great movement by this girl to try to open up space for this player. This player, I do not know what's going on. Maybe like a parent's yelling at her or the coach is yelling at her, but she needs to be sprinting forward there. And she's turning her head. She's not even getting forward quickly. So if she's sprinting forward here, she's going to cause all sorts of problems. Honestly, MVLA got very, very lucky here because this girl did not join in the attack. And so why am I saying this player is not even facing the ball? So they need to be opened up a little bit wider. So if blue opened up faster and had a little better understanding, MVLA would have had a very tough time here. I'll show you why. So if you remember that sequence the US had, what happened when they got here and they started attacking? What did Morocco do? They dropped till they got close to goal, then they were compact. MVLA, you way, way too high. Look how far you are from your goal. So the problem with making your line of confrontation here is that any pass behind you, you're never going to catch, and your keeper's too far away to come out and get it. The only reason why it's not a threat, though, is because this person's snoozing and they're not getting forward, and this person's not in a great position. They need to be open wider and facing forward. So if you're playing a better team here and this player's a little more switched on, this player's going to score. They should score because this center back steps too aggressively, and now that requires this center back to pinch. And now there's a massive space to play through, but this person's snoozing. Okay, so in general, as backs, when we get countered and we're dropping, we want to make our line of confrontations around the 18. Why not higher? Because if you're higher, there's too much space behind the play. Why the 18? If they make that pass and you're at the 18 roughly, it's a good angle for it makes it less space because the keeper can now come out and win the ball. So yeah, I know we made a great read here. It's a great read by the center back to read the passing lane, but blue was not very good here. Blue's better. Blue's gonna continue to this player's gonna get forward. They're gonna slip them. Now, once we win it, based on this is young, totally love this bit of skill. Now, if you're a college player, I'd probably say to release the ball a little faster. But at your guys' age, at 12, 13, 14, have fun, be creative on the ball when you can. Now here, we're not doing a great job of stepping again, right? We just gained 30 yards and our backs really haven't moved. Backs need to be stepping up to compact the field. And then another just side note too, this is another of my pet peeves, is you should never be on the same line as a player when they're dribbling at you. So see how they're like on the same line? This player needs to dribble in, so now they can pass wide, or they need to dribble wide and this person needs to come inside. Because if the person is straight in front of you and you're here, how are you going to pass them the ball when there's a defender on the back? Like, I don't know. It's just very, very challenging. So that's ultimately why this turnover happens, because there's no space, there's no angle. If that player is a little more inside, then they can play through that gap. But again, look how stretched we are. Right, we're so stretched. So these players are here, are open, because these guys need to be a little bit higher. Last little bit. And that's just not very good from blue. That's great aggressiveness to go win the ball. Now, what I mean by not very great from blue, I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so we win the ball and it goes here. We need to think and get the ball at the other side. So this player needs to be pulling away a little bit. Why are you pulling away? Because all the pressure's here. We want to get away from the pressure. This player needs to be opening up here to make this player make a decision. This player now can be looking to find the ball in this spot as well. But this slow pass with this player not opening up now is just turnover central. And then this player not opening up here makes it very, very tough because now there's no outlet to play out. And then this player is trapping with the wrong foot too, so they're facing the wrong direction, so they can't play through here. It's just all bad, which is why they end up giving away a chance. And again, this player needs to be opening up. This player hasn't checked their shoulder at all. They got lucky there. At the same time though, right? So remember I was talking about how the backs are so loose here on white. So it ended up hurting them because they're so loose. They should be higher now. They should be higher now. They should be up to half now. The right back should be higher. The right back should be reading this all day because this is the only outlet. So right back should be up here. But the right back tried to run really late and now it's too late. The right back's in the right spot. They win that ball right there because this girl didn't even look over her shoulder. And then now they got out and now they're going down our throat because as defense, we weren't stepped together. Pretty good shape here. Good read by the center back. Not bad. Good recovery from the midfielder. Good bit of composure. Get out of there. Again, another good bit of composure. I would have liked to see probably play out the other way because it's so compact on that side at that point. These moments I see goals happen all the time at youth soccer, where they kind of like bouncing weird balls. This is very similar to set pieces. So this is a good step here by the center back. But once this ball goes past her, she should be dropping in. So it's not just a one touch and behind. Do you see how this player is like right next to her? If this person again was a little bit better and just, or this person messes up, this person has a breakaway. Because we're too high. When this player's on the ball, that center back should be a little deeper. I'm okay with that decision if you're under pressure. Shape of the white midfield, right? It's kind of all over the place. This is part of the reason why the game kind of gets up and down, up and down. Okay, so I'd love to see a 6 maybe in this pocket. Ball's been on this side for a little bit. I'd love to see them go out the other side. So I know it's a little bit soft pass, but this center back needs to be knowing what's going on before I get the ball. If we're checking our shoulder, this should be relatively easy to get out of here. I'll give you a couple options. So what happens? Don't really know what we're doing before we get the ball, and so we kind of get caught on it. So instead, yeah, it's not a great pass. So yeah, I know the right center back is the one that lost the ball, but really this person did not help the cause at all because they played him a really slow pass that allowed pressure. But if the center back's aware, all it is open right foot to pass right foot. And this player should be a little wider. And if you open right to pass right, and this player is taking that away, then you can just push past them, which is all stuff you do. If you guys do our trainings, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Or you could trap and then play back to that center back. But the outlet is just open right, play right to this player. And you play it not to their feet, but to the space probably so they can run onto it. Good foul, though. Good foul. Okay, so that's it for now. Guys, a lot of information, I know. Hopefully you guys took something away. Again, the stuff from the beginning, it's just like when you train. If you're doing trainings with mobility or doing trainings on your own, don't just go out and just train. There's specific things you're working on. So when you go into a game, I'm not just playing a game. There's specific things I'm working on. And so when you're evaluating your game, you're thinking about the things that you were working on that game. Okay, that's one. And then two is if there's a reason for what you did, if you explain why you did what you did, that's awesome. Hey, you know what? I played this ball because I saw the defender coming here and I thought that was an outlet. Okay. And the more you can reason, the better, right? It just makes your decision making better if you can reason it, right? And there's not necessarily like a right and a wrong. There's not like, this player made the mistake, right? It's little things constantly in soccer, which is great. So the more you understand the game, the more hopefully you can do those little things right, and then it'll help you get better. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got. Any questions? I think I know it's a lot of information. I got a lot of thank yous, so that's good directly. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That's all I got. Next Monday, not tomorrow, the next Monday, starting camps, Newark and San Jose. Looking forward to it. If you guys aren't into it yet, welcome to come on out. Should be fun. Players are going to learn. Players are going to get better. Welcome, guys. See you guys.